Well, good evening, everybody. Oh, I just realised it's all looking a bit trashy back there. It's still the 27th of November, and right now it's just after 11 o'clock at night. But there's some fun stuff going on, absolutely unbelievable. So, and I won't be able to bring it up in the morning because we'll be travelling. We're up at 4 o'clock in the morning or something, and then heading by train to Paris to get on the plane to head to Cape Town. Anyway, we're still packing, usual story, clear my desk, but Keri's on a roll. So I thought I'd just pop up now and try and explain what's happening right now and what's likely to happen in the next 24 hours. And it's looking very interesting. The weather forecasting is changing all the time. And what he thought was going to happen probably isn't happening to a degree, or it's a lot better than what he expected. And I'll go straight to it and try and explain exactly what's going on and how he's going so fast and all the rest of it. So I'm going on the tracker now, and you're coming on the tracker as well. So there we have it. 277 days. It's late at night here, but it doesn't matter. So here's Keri chuffing down. Hang on, get rid of this. Christian's still out there as well. Christian's currently making pretty good time, 6.6 knots. So he is going to make a pretty quick trip from Port Elizabeth through to Mussel Bay. And Keri is flying. He's been doing 10 knots, 10 and a half knots since 9 o'clock, or previously position up to 8 o'clock. Now he's at that stage doing 9.8, but he was doing 10.5 the previous 4 hours. And it's pretty easy to see what's going on. He's got very favourable wind direction there at the moment. Relatively easy to manage to a degree. I mean, it'll be a bit of wave work, I reckon. Still generally in line with the current. And he's got probably 28, gusting 35, something like that at the moment. And it was projected to get a lot worse. But if we just start off by looking at the weather, in fact, I'll show you where he is in the current. And I'll show you what I believe he's going to be doing. For a couple of reasons. He's smack bang right in the middle of the current. The current, I reckon, was probably running at 3.5 to 4 knots up here when he was really hooting along. And I think what you'll see happen now, he'll stay right in that current as long as he can, because it's going to head him eventually. And it's going to come in from not the southwest, but it's going to come in from the maybe south-southwest. So it's not quite it's sort of like a headwind. But the beauty of that is, if he gets far enough south down here, right in the current, when it comes in, even if it comes in from the southwest, which would normally be a headwind if you're up here, right, southwest and you're way south, he can just tack across and take it on port tack, and he'll just, sort of, that's a beam reach, basically, with strong winds or light winds, whatever's coming, and he'll just cream it straight along the coast here and straight in, and that looks like what's going to happen. So for sure, he'll ride this as long as he can, just remember that, so he's dipping south. Now if I go back to the wind, you'll see it's still coming from pretty much the east, okay? And I will now roll this through every few hours, and you'll see what's happening there at the moment. So basically from now, here we go. I can hit that. Come on, it's not moving. Must be asleep. There we go. So there's 6 hours. So there's 6 hours. Same sort of wind strength, and it hasn't got as strong as what it was forecast 24 hours ago. This was supposed to be purple in there, but it's now pretty much normal sailing. It's like a strong trade wind, nothing can't cope. And I'm not sure what it'll be doing with the current, but it's not too bad because it's in the right direction. So here we go. That's 10:30 in the morning. So that's basically 12 hours, right? Now, if we look at his distance, so in 12 hours doing 10 knots, it's nearly 120 miles. And there's 110 miles. So he's still in the breeze right at that point. So you can pretty much assume he will be about here in about 12 hours. Okay. And that's when conditions start to change. But it's still in the current line. So even if the wind drops off, if you watch this, if I hit that now and go through slowly, there's 3 hours. So the first thing that hits you there's a sudden change with this instability. But unbelievably, he's on the bottom end of it, right? With everything that's coming out here, there, and everywhere, it's going to swing around and just veer away. So basically, he will still be riding the current down. So that's the next 3 hours. He's got it on the starboard quarter there, which is perfect. And look at this. This is the basis of if this is correct, it's unbelievable, because this is the basis of a low pressure system going around in a clockwise direction. And look at his course. So he's going to be, he started off here, right, in about 24 hours. He's on the bottom side of it, which is perfect. He's going to get a slingshot. So I'm assuming this is going to head across this way. He's just underneath it. It'll lighten off, and it'll just pull him straight around like that. So at that stage, he may keep going down, and I'll show you why, because there's a southwesterly coming. But if this happens, if he goes down here, there's day one with the current, he's doing 10 knots, gets down here, he's probably still in the current, so there's 3 knots or so. And if he's sailing at 3 knots, it's still 6 knots. So he's going to do probably 100 and probably going to do, I'd say, 150 mile day, something like that. Because this, if I just come back here, so that's only tomorrow from there. Just watch this. I'll just take it to the next one. We'll do 24 hours. So you do one there and see it's just rolled across. Now, whatever's happening here, it's not on the nose. Even if this did go up, this one's still sitting there. That cell's turning around, but it's on his starboard side. So the sea here is going to get very confused if he's in the current, because it's coming from this way, it's coming from that way. There's probably thunderstorms, all that sort of stuff. And in fact, I mentioned this morning. Let's have a look. Yep, there's all sorts of rubbish going on here. So he's not going to get any sleep. However, he's racing. So he's he knows it's coming. He doesn't really know what's going on, but he's getting the forecasting. And so, even with this wind, I'd say he's, if we take it to 24 hours, there we go now, 8, that's basically 24 hours. So you can see now this sort of south-southwesterly's kicked in, all right? So if we assume his distance, at about, I reckon he'll do 160 miles, something like that. He's done 180 miles in the last 24 hours. So let's just see, 160 miles. When it gets to here, well, he's not going to hold that course at that point because it's now swung on the nose fully. But all he does is tack across. Now, if he tacks across and heads up this way towards Cape Town, right, you can see what happens. It's on the port quarter, and that's it. That's where the wind's going to come from. So it's not going to swing on the nose. It's not going to swing on the nose there. If we now come back here and keep going for the next bit, you can see it's southwesterly. It's a beautiful southwester, and it's going to strengthen. So you can pick a point and say, rightio, he's going to be sailing fast there. The sea down here is going to get quite interesting, but then the wind's backing off. It's down to 15 knots. So it's going to be a bit up and down, and then it's following in behind him, right? It's a bit quiet there, but it's the right wind direction. And there's the 30th. I reckon he's going to be there sometime late on the 30th or 31st. So the forecast is really quite amazing. He's knocked it on the head. He's going to do it without stopping, which means you don't get all these diversions and so on. He could take a day out of the leaders, out of Dan and Reno, I reckon. It's hard to say because I can't, haven't even tried to do the bits and pieces. So it's not an elapsed time thing. As you know, it's all got to do with sea time on the water. But you can see what happens. I mean, he's just coming straight down here, going to turn around and go ripping straight up there. He hasn't had, remember they went really slow here for a couple of days. And when you come up here, the stopover at East London, you got to go up the river and tie up at the port. And then the clock starts again when you come out and bits and pieces. So, it'll be interesting to see what goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up even 24 hours on the actual sea time. So we can compare that when they got into Durban and see what the others were, how far out he was. I think it was a day and a half or something like that. He may be right up neck and neck on that one for just the leg from Durban to here, because we're actually talking leg 3 all the way from Fiji. So no dramatic statements there, but certainly very efficient. He's hit the jackpot with the weather there, because it's not what the long-range forecast wasn't suggesting this at all. And for everyone else there, I'm not sure when they get out. I thought that someone would have tried to not stop there and keep going at the time, because they could have got right around here somewhere. and then be ready to bolt. But now, if we come back to here and now, it's a little bit more challenging for the fleet to come out, so they may just stay there and wait for more favourable bits. Because if we now just pick this up and imagine you're sitting in Mussel Bay right now, I'll just push it through. I'll just push it through here every 3 hours, just watching Mussel Bay. Christian's doing all right. He'll have a nice run. So this is tomorrow. You can't get out when there's no wind. Okay. Then there it's not so bad, but it's 4 to the beam. So you wouldn't be inclined. Now it's on the nose to try and head around the corner. So there's not a lot on the 28th. And then on the 29th, it's still pushing. It's not bad. You'd be on one leg, but it's not helpful. It's lighty sort of thing. So you're pretty much stuck there now. So waiting. That's probably when you're likely to go there. So the 30th maybe, 27, 29, 30. Yeah, something like that. And then it's just light again. So the difference, you can see what's going on. And often, Keri likes doing his own thing, but not in your wildest dream would you think the weather would have. See, there's not a lot of breeze there either. In the wildest dream that would have nailed it like that. It's looking particularly good. He's having a hard night. He's not going to get any sleep for sure. So probably the next 2 days even are going to be quite challenging. Hopefully he's been sleeping a bit on the way down. So anyway, so I would think we're going to see him there on the 31st. Now, as you know, we don't get access to the berthing until the 1st, but it's just one boat. So we'll worry about that when we get there. We can get him to anchor out or hang out, whatever it is. There's 2 full-on rallies there at the moment, and berthing is really quite challenging. Anyway, I just thought I'd pop that in. Christian should be enjoying the ride. He's called it pretty right. It'll be a fast passage generally. And, what am I doing here? Press the wrong button. And it's time for me to go to sleep. I'll just see who's here. We won't go through another hour or so yet, but hang on. Jonathan, surprised to see you live this time of day. Glad everything's okay. Yeah, everything's good. No problem. Is Keri going to be penalised for skipping the required stop? No, we cancelled the when everyone got there, and it was expected that the fleet could arrive by the 27th. It was pretty clear that it wasn't going to, they weren't going to be there by the 27th, because once they got into Mussel Bay, they were all predicting between the 2nd or 3rd that they would leave there and head to Cape Town. So ETAs are around the 2nd or 3rd would be 5th or something like that, 5th or 6th. And so I had a chat with the crew at the Simonstown Marina, which is also False Bay Yacht Club. They were busting their butt to help everything. They were all set to move boats, and they were getting very excited and so on. And I explained the situation that it would mean that boats would possibly, if they stopped in Simonstown, they would possibly not get there until the 10th. You put another 4 days on the 5th and 6th, possibly till the 10th of December. So they graciously let us go again. So we're all clear. We're very grateful for the club for pulling that through. And now it's still all weather stops. There's no pit stop. So I think they had 16 days, and they should have plenty up their sleeve by the time they go. So anyway, watch this space. All kind of good. And let's just see what Keri does. We won't be here tomorrow morning. We're out here at 5 o'clock in the morning, or even earlier than that. We wake up at 4:15 or something, and then I hope to be here on Sunday. If I can drop one in, if it's all looking fun, I'll try. So we'll see how we go. Tough earlier that Renaud had made a move, but he has not. Agree, they're stuck there inshore. Doesn't matter, it's all about sea time. But as I said, there's tactics involved all the way along, and Christian, I think, will, in terms of his timeline from East London to Mussel Bay, I think he will perform very well, because he stopped before it went calm, and the others were at sea longer for the calm. It'd be neck and neck. I'm not sure. You can work it all out. It gets a bit complicated because you've got to do all the maths. But it doesn't matter how long they sit in port. They've got time, And the problem is you don't want to go out when it's slow boat speed, because if someone's out there slow boat speed and another person's out at a different time and they're making fast boat speed, then you're going backwards, So there's some tactics, and certainly Keri made a decision to stay up there. I wasn't following what he was doing. I just saw he was sail training, things like that, and then he came up and said day before yesterday he's ready to go, and let's see how far he gets. And the plan was to try and get through from initially from Durban to hopefully get to East London, but he figured he could drive through the potential headwinds and hang on to it and get through to Port Elizabeth and then just see how it goes. But as it's panned out, it's all working out really well. So, okay, all good, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot. See you later.